Welcome to Best Replays of the Week. I'm Luke Nella. Today, we have the BatBat who knows no fear. Several examples of great cooperative play between platoonmates and strangers alike. This time around, all replays just happen to be from the European servers. Let's get to it. Let's start with something fast and furious. Okay, I think I'll just call him Bappa. Anyway, this guy drives the Bat Chatillon and blasts his enemies into shrapnel with fearless aggression. The standard battle takes place on Lakeville. There are only 8 Tier 10 vehicles on the field, and Bappa decides to make this short and sweet. The battle starts, and the Bat is off like a horse at the races. The road by the lake is the fastest way to find some action, and that's where he goes. The reload is done, and the victims start rolling into view. 2 heavy tanks show their sides, and the first magazine finishes off both of them. Bappa doesn't fall back for the reload, but stays on the road as a forward scout. He keeps moving, making sure he's not an easy target. The Waffenträger advances like an angry titan, but Bappa is hard to intimidate. He takes care of the monster and charges forward looking for more victims. With 2 shells loaded, he charges the enemy base like it's nothing. This should be suicide, but somehow it works perfectly. The first shot takes out an SPG, but the second one misses its mark. Now what? The enemies are trying to camp in their base, but it's hard to do that when somebody is right there spotting you. As soon as the reload is done, Bappa charges into the melee and takes them all on at once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 kills in 13 seconds in the middle of the enemy base. Bappa looks for more enemies, but it's all over. The Allies finish off the last 2, and the game is done. 7 kills in a 4-minute battle. It looks like Bappa would have continued his rampage if the enemies hadn't run out. This is definitely the Top Gun of the week. Congratulations! Now we go from berserk heroics to teamwork. This week's Confederate drives the thick-skinned Super Pershing on Fiery Salant. X.X heads for the central ridge and meets his rival from the enemy team. The Super Pershings have trouble hurting each other, but sporting the enemy from allied fire works well enough. X.X turns his attention to the hill and lays down support fire. After a while, he turns his attention to the central area and claims the KV-85 as his first kill. Map control is getting divided between the east and the west. Allies have won in the east, and X.X takes the task of holding the western front. He spots the enemies and harasses them, receiving backup from the TDs. The WZ is attempting a breakthrough. X.X is having none of that, and the overbowled enemy becomes kill number 2. The score is 9-9, and half the remaining team is behind him. X.X decides to advance on the enemies. He takes quite a few hits, but the enemy loses a Tiger and a Luby. Back to the center, and an enemy TD is caught in the crossfire. That's the 3rd kill, and now the team are up by 2. The heavy VK is next, with an ally claiming that kill. Only 2 more to go. This med is an easy target from here, but the enemy SPG has had enough of this pesky Confederates. That hurt. X.X helps finish off the T-34-1 and drives forward looking for the artillery. 4 against 1. The game is basically over. There you are. A well-aimed shot leaves the arty with 7 HP, but its final act is taking revenge on the Pershing. Our hero is dead, but the game is won only seconds later. Nice work, constantly on the front line spotting, dealing damage, and keeping the enemies at bay. This is how you play the Confederate. When the enemies gain the upper hand, victory or defeat comes down to the defender. Juggernaut X is called upon to save the day, and he doesn't disappoint. The Tier 8 standard battle was fought on Insk. Juggernaut's Tiger 2 is a top tier heavy, so he takes points and heads to the town. The first damage goes to the enemies, but Juggernaut finds his groove after that. The Tiger's front is well armored, and good angling keeps him from getting hurt again. Eventually, the Jagdpanther becomes his first kill. The enemy IS-3 is not learning its lesson. Unfortunately, the Allied one gets itself killed as well. Most of the Allies are gone, and Juggernaut holds the town almost by himself. It's going okay, but the enemies have broken through in the east. The capture siren goes off. Hold them off, team, I'm busy! Some unnecessary assistance from the Su-100M1 there. Now turn around quickly and deal with the rival Tiger. Okay, duel 1, but with heavy damage. Maybe the SU could use some help. In the distance, the second ally loses its one-on-one, 2 against 3 now. Juggernaut squeezes past the dead tanks and goes hunting for the AMX. The SU takes the kill and then itself falls victim to the T-44. The fast and agile medium tank may be a problem. Juggernaut goes looking for the enemy, but it's nowhere to be found. Maybe the Hummel needs to die first then. The capture alarm goes off again and he's almost to the enemy base. No time for an arty hunt then. As he's on the way back, the capture speeds up. They're both in there. The Tiger may not be fast enough. Playing on a hunch, Juggernaut stops to take a couple of uneyed shots. Success! The capture is reduced by 40 points. It's still a close call, but one of the enemies abandons the circle as he charges in. The artillery lands its shot, but doesn't quite get a kill. Juggernaut misses. A second shot takes care of the Hummel, but the T-44 charges in from behind. The shot fails to penetrate, and it doesn't get a second chance. Victory! This required some luck, but all in all, it was a good example of defensive play. Nice work saving the base, defender. The next replay is one of those which fall between categories. However one looks at it though, Dodo and his BatBat prove crucial to winning the match. The map for this standard battle is Highway. The heavies head for the town, and Dodo races north to scout in the field. The enemies turn up and he gets to work. The first magazine leaves one enemy damaged and a rival bat destroyed. Dodo backs off to reload as a friendly med tank blows up. The battle simmers down to cautious sniping for a while. 4 careful shots, then another reload. Reload's done, let's go. The WZ has no chance, and it's a shame that the T-54 dies as well. The enemies have a 4-tank lead. It looks like the battle for the town was a disaster. The remaining team head back and prepare to defend the base. Here they come. Dodo helps repel the first push and then decides to reload. Another defender dies, and now it's 3 versus 7. The enemy have the initiative, and all the defenders can do is wait. Contact. It would be a tricky shot from here, and luckily not needed as Arty is on the case. Both bats get suspicious and drive around looking for more enemies. What are they up to? There, another IS-8 is trying to sneak in. A quick auto-aim shot with a heat round takes care of it. Dodo changes position and evades the incoming artillery strike. The next one is a badly mauled E-100, another heat round and another kill. The T-57 Heavy doesn't want to come out yet, so Dodo leaves it to the other 2. An IS-4 is approaching from the town, and this one is nearly dead as well. Another heat round makes for the 3rd kill shot in a row. The Heavy is out to play, and it's already aiming. The enemy misses, and Dodo's shell bounces. Both autoloaders land their next shot, and Dodo's drum is empty. A Minotaur makes the artillery strike miss. Nice Jedi trick. The allied bat attacks the Heavy, but it manages to escape with 28 hit points. Reload is done, and Dodo is too focused on the T-57 to notice the VK lying in ambush. They trade shots, and it leaves the bat in a fragile state. Dodo keeps skirmishing with the enemy until the object finishes it off. The T-57 is still here. The first shell bounces, but the second one finds a softer spot. 6 kills, and only the Arty is left. Charge! BatBat's for everybody in this 2 versus 1 Arty hunt. Dodo stops for a moment to time a perfect pincer movement, and then moves in with his teammate. He gets the first hit, and the ally secures the kill. Beautiful. There we go, a very solid game all around, and they made that turnaround look almost easy. Special mentions for the surviving teammates for excellent cooperation in a pub game. This week's brothers in arms are Johnny Fencer in the T-37, Juan Pedro in the Type 5 Chi-Ri, and NR9 in the T-34-1. The Tier 7 standard battle is fought over Sacred Valley. At the start, the trio head north. Johnny drives to the side and starts taking shots at the enemy, while NR9 pushes further up the road. The relentless long-range fire from Johnny is effective, and his final uneyed shot claims the first kill for the trio. Juan joins NR9 on the front, and it's not long before they both claim a kill as well. Artillery strikes close, and it's time to move. The enemies are pushing into the base, and the trio redeploy to lay down some serious fire. NR9 takes out a Jagdpanther, but the situation is starting to look grim. The brothers are down to 1 ally, while there are still 10 enemies left. To make matters worse, Juan's Chi-Ri takes a massive hit. Johnny charges out and engages the IS in a knife fight. It looks like a terrier attacking a bull, but the IS goes down for the count. Unfortunately, the enemies manage to focus down on Juan Pedro at the same time. The ELC charges, but NR9 is on the case. Johnny chases down the E-25 and kills it with a shot. NR9 heads towards the cap circle. An M5 Stuart comes hunting for Johnny, and the Allied Hellcat dies to heavy fire from the cappers. The two brothers are on their own. Johnny wins his duel with the Stuart and heads for the cap circle. NR9 manages a reset shot with the capture at 97%. Whew! Johnny charges in, and together they make short work of the cappers. The immediate threat is over, but it's still 2 versus 4, and the heavier tank is in a pretty bad state. Keeping together, the brothers set out to find the remaining enemies. The search goes on until that infernal siren goes off again. The T-37 is much faster, and Johnny is the first one on the scene. Once again, he's all over the enemy heavy, but this one will take some serious killing. NR9 arrives on the scene, and Johnny leaves the rest to him. The Su-100 needs to be dealt with as well. Once again, Johnny executes a perfect attack, but this time he has a problem. The enemy isn't even close to dead when the ammo runs out. He keeps moving and dodging until NR9 arrives to put in the final shot. Right, only the 2 SPGs now, but one of the tanks is out of ammo. The enemies try their luck with blind fire as the duo set off on the final hunt. Here's the first one. And there's the second one. NR9 whiffs his shot and goes for the ram. The grill doesn't get a chance to fire before the second shot takes it out. Now for the last one. Johnny baits the arty shot and surprisingly lives to tell the tale. NR9 has all the time he needs to drive up and end the game. Victory! Excellent! That's 14 kills for the platoon, and a great turnaround with the power of teamwork. Nicely done, you brothers in arms. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. You can click on your screen to watch a previous Best Replays of the Week, or subscribe to the channel to make sure you never miss another episode. I'm Luke Neller, and I'll see you next time.